Welcome to my channel, where we discuss everything and all things politics, especially about the 2023 presidential election in Nigeria. The Supreme Court has just given a ruling on the petition by the People's Democratic Party against the nomination of Kashim Shettima, the vice presidential candidate of the APC, All Progressive Congress, in the 2023 presidential election. The Supreme Court has given their verdict, and we are going to look at the reason why the Supreme Court gave this verdict, and then look at the way forward. What does this mean? What does it portend, both for the PDP and for the Labour Party in particular, going forward? Because if you remember, this issue of nomination of Kashim Shettima was one of the prayers that Labour Party presidential candidates and Labour Party made in their submission to the Presidential Tribunal, Presidential Election Tribunal. So but let us look at the reason why the Supreme Court came up with the decision they came up with. On Friday morning, May 26, 2023. Now, the Supreme Court, they dismissed the People's Democratic Party's suit challenging the alleged double nomination of Kashim Shettima as the vice presidential candidate of the All Progressive Congress. The APC court agrees with the lower courts that the PDP, the People's Democratic Party, lacks the local standing to institute the case. Justice Adamu Jauro, who led the judgment, added that the PDP acted as meddlesome interloper and a busybody, as it is an internal affairs of the All Progressive Congress. And the court in its wisdom awarded a sum of 2 million naira against the PDP, even as the suit was dismissed for lacking in merit. The justices further held that the attitude of the appellant, that's the People's Democratic Party, amounts to misleading the court, describing the move as sad. And Shettima withdrew his Senate nomination on 6th July 2022 and was subsequently replaced. At this point, he was no longer a candidate for Senate, and as such, his position as vice president did not constitute a multiple nomination breach, according to the justices. And on the case of Asiwaju, which the People's Democratic Party relied on, the Supreme Court reminded them that they made that decision as at that time and are fully aware of the details. Asiwaju, in his case, got nominated by two political parties for different positions. They held that the suit of the PDP was bound to fail right from the trial court to the Court of Appeal and the Supreme Court. According to the justices of the Supreme Court, a political party has no right to challenge the action of another party or the decision of the Independent National Electoral Commission in respect of another party. They added that for a person to have local standing to challenge the nomination process of a political party, the person must be a neutral person and an aspirant to that position and a member of the party. So that's a brief of the reason why the Supreme Court did what it did. Of course, many Nigerians were expecting that maybe today the Supreme Court is going to confirm that indeed there was double nomination by the APC in respect of Kashim Shettima. But that's not what the Supreme Court ruled. The Supreme Court has taken its position. Now, but what does this portend? What does this portend going forward? Because this same issue of double nomination is one of the prayers of the PDP in the tribunal, is one of the prayers of Labour Party in the petition in the tribunal. From what the Supreme Court has said here, it is obvious that this particular matter has been thrashed out. There is no likelihood of it succeeding in the Election Petition Tribunal, because the Supreme Court in this ruling has given a breakdown on how they are, of what it constitutes, what you have to do to have a local standing. For you to have a local standing to challenge nomination process for another political party, you have to be neutral, you have to be an aspirant to that position and a member of that party. Invariably, if you are not from the party in question, you cannot have the locus to challenge the nomination. Of course, there are some things that you ask yourself, what do they really mean by this? Because if you look at David Leon was stopped a day to his inauguration as governor of Bayelsa State because the Supreme Court ruled that his deputy governor or the deputy governor-elect had forged certificate. Now, in that case, that's a nomination that was done by the APC, and then it was done by the APC. His nomination was done by the APC, and the INEC accepted the results. The Supreme Court in this ruling is trying to give us the impression that when INEC has done a filing or have accepted a candidate, if you are not from that party, you have no right to challenge the nomination. Because that was a pre-election matter. The reason why David Leon was stopped from being governor of Bayelsa State, it was a pre-election matter. It was before the election. Perhaps we need some kind of clarity on this kind of judgments when they come up, and this kind of positions of the Supreme Court. A day before David Leon was to be sworn in as governor of Bayelsa State, Supreme Court ruled. And that Supreme Court ruling was as a result of challenge to that ticket by the PDP. Why did the Supreme Court at that time allow the PDP to have their way? Because PDP people and those who filed that allegation, filed that case of forged certificate, we are not members of the All Progressive Congress. They were from the PDP. So how managed the Supreme Court allow that? Since if you are from a particular party, you cannot challenge the nomination process in another political party. Perhaps we need some clarity on this this kind of ruling, on what the Supreme Court really meant when they talk about the fact that if you are from a particular, you cannot challenge the nomination process in another political party. or challenge INEC's decision on another political party. It's a bit ambiguous, but that's how it is. And if they stand by that, it means that the petition that peterobi himself has challenging the nomination of Kashim Shettima, this matter has settled it. But that doesn't mean that Tinubu and the APC, they are home and dry. There are other grounds that the election can still be annulled, many, including the issue of FCT, Federal Capital Territory Abuja, Section 134, Subsection 2B of the 1999 Constitution, which stipulates that for anyone to be declared winner of a presidential election in Nigeria, the person must get majority of the vote cast, get 25% in 2/3 of the 36 states of the Federation, and FCT Abuja. That matter is a matter that by now ought to be a settled matter, because Michael Anduaka, former Attorney General of the Federation, said that the Supreme Court has already settled that matter, that it is compulsory for you to get 25% in Abuja. So that should be the one that should settle the matter about Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu, whether he will retain his position or not. But you never know with these Supreme Courts. They may change their mind, as being alluded by Michael Anduaka. He said it has been about 14 years, because he said the Supreme Court settled the matter in 2008. So he said the Supreme Court may decide to change its mind. How can the Supreme Court be change its mind about the letters of our Constitution that has no ambiguity? They say that and before the FCT is conjunctive. So why would they come back in 2023 to come and tell us that it's no longer conjunctive? Nigerians should watch this particular ruling very well, because that is a very serious one that is coming. That is where a lot of people are having hope that the Supreme Court will stand on its judgment of 2008, as stated by Michael Anduaka, Attorney General and Minister of Justice of Nigeria in 2008. So that is a settled matter. So that should be the one that should actually upend Tinubu's presidency, because that one is much more stronger, even more than this nomination, the issue of double nomination. Then also, of course, there is the issue of perjury against Tinubu. I don't know how strong that is, but peterobi is not, I don't think it's one of his prayers. The perjury against Tinubu in Form EC9, where he claimed that he has only one passport, but he now emerged that he has a Guinean passport. That would be perjury if it is true that he has two passports or two citizenship. Okay, that may stick, but that of FCT, getting 25% is stronger than even this. And then, of course, one of the strongest of the reason why Tinubu's election may likely be annulled, even after he has been sworn in, is the issue of forfeiture. It is no longer arguable that Tinubu forfeited $460,000 to the United States government in Chicago, being proceeds of cocaine, being profits of heroin. Okay. Now, in Nigeria's definition of forfeiture means an admittance of conviction. So, if the Supreme Court has already ruled on what is forfeiture, and good enough, those who rule on that forfeiture matter between Mohammed Abacha and the federal government will not change the meaning of forfeiture when it comes to Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu in 2022. In 2014, the Supreme Court ruled on what is forfeiture. And forfeiture means that somebody has committed a crime and therefore has forfeited the proceed. If that is the case, it means that Asiwaju had committed a crime, because if he didn't commit a crime, he cannot forfeit $460,000. But let us wait and see what the court will say. But that is what it is. Because by the definition of what is forfeiture in Nigeria, and what is forfeiture in Nigeria is not different from what is forfeiture in the United States. They have the same meaning. And the present Chief Justice of Nigeria, good enough, was the justice that read the definition of forfeiture in the case of Abuja versus Federal Government of Nigeria. Thank you for watching this video. And if you are new to my channel, you have not yet subscribed to my channel, please subscribe to my channel. Hit the subscription button, hit the notification bell. When you subscribe to my channel and hit the notification bell, anytime I have a new video, you'll be among the first to know. God bless you. And please don't forget to like this video, because when you like it, God will rank it high and recommend it for more people. God bless you and yours.